This is obviously the awards show. Nobody's going to be shocked by that. We got to start this out by airing a bit of a grievance, of course, because that's what we do here. I'm really tired of all these commercials on TV, or just literally anything being like, we know 2020's just been awful. This year's almost over. Like, we get it. It's abundantly clear. That has been clear for a long time. We don't need to be reminded of it. I mean, are you hearing this too? Like, what is this? Just me yelling into the void here?
No, it's all over. The whole. I feel like everybody or every industry has run out of like the touchy, feel good moment type advertising, because 2020 has been terrible. So they know that they can, instead of pull on your heartstrings, they can play on your emotion by saying, "Look, we know 2020 has sucked, but our product could make it better," and stuff like that. It happens so many times.
Yeah. Well, instead of pulling on your heartstrings, they're just gonna punch on your dick and tug on it, I guess.
Exactly.
Going out of the bank, baby.
I do think I learned that in advertising school. I think that's exactly the words that I heard.
Well, first of all, breaking news that you went to advertising school. Second of all,
straighten my tie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you? Do we need to just take a minute here so we can?
Sorry, I was straightening my tie.
I'm laid back, motherfucker. I don't need a tie. I'm going to. The new style is no tie, and it's wearing a Target workout shirt underneath your blazer.
Oh yeah, well I've got a blazer that hasn't fit in 5 years, fitting today. I've got a tie on and an Adidas shirt. I'm ready for anything.
Let me take you on a real quick journey through my first suit, because I think that's a great way of really building to this. I remember I did Model UN in high school, and we went to New York City for it. So I had to get a suit. I did not own a suit until my senior year in high school, and I don't remember where it was. It was like JCPenney maybe.
Oh, and
got a suit that vaguely fit. And we're talking like, well, no, you know what? Let me rewind. I only got a suit jacket, and I just paired it with a pair of pants that I had, and it was black as fuck. And so it's a suit jacket that vaguely fit, a pair of pants that probably had cat hair on it, and I was there ready to go. And it was probably one of the most ill-fitting things I ever wore, which that's fine. But the best part is the pants were too big, and we actually, for one aspect of Model UN, we got to go into the actual United Nations building and got to pretend vote, whatever. Anyway, you had to go through security, which was metal detectors. You had to take your belt off. And I was a little worried. I was like, oh, man, these pants, like they're very big. They're very big. I was getting nervous, and I take them off. And so I'm like, okay, I'm fine. Like I'm kind of like holding them up by the belt loops. Like, you know how you do, and you puff your stomach out so that it stretches the waistband. So you look like bloated, it's like you're having a baby, but you keep the pants stay up. And
yeah, we've literally all had that problem.
Listen, 18 Husky, just come with me on this journey. All right.
You got to choose to look bloated. I look like a swollen fish every fucking day.
Listen, I went through a brownie bite phase. Okay, I know what it's like.
Oh, you went through a brownie? I went through a brownie sheet phase. Where I just eat a fucking sheet pan of brownies.
Sheet cake. All right, I'm not going to get into a fat off with you, all right? I know it's a losing battle. I get that. Yeah. Anyway, where the fatal flaw of this whole experience was when I had to lift my arms up and they had to do the wand. And I'm like, fuck. I lift my arms up. I couldn't hold the stomach anymore. I felt confident enough that it was going to stay up. And they got down through one arm, and they're getting ready to do the other arm. I'm like, I'm free. I'm like, I'm scot-free. This is going to work. It's going to be fine. No. Because I think what happened was the wand just barely grazed the side of my leg just enough so that the friction from the wand yanked just a little bit, and those sons of bitches fell right down, and the whole world, or at least the whole security line of the United Nations building in New York City, saw that I was wearing Twilight Zone boxers that day.
We have very similar For suit stories, growing up poor, I didn't get to see a lot of people in suits, and I thought that when you buy a suit, like everybody gets black and everybody gets blue. So I thought like it's smarter to get to get something like people don't get all the time. So do you remember when Barack Obama got like he got heat for wearing like that tan suit?
Yeah, I believe it was a cream color. I thought it was a bold sartorial choice, and I approved of it. But yeah, it kind of was like, I believe the media reaction was somewhere along the lines of Obama created a 9/11.
Right. I had that suit, but for poor people, because his suit fit perfectly. It looked great. My suit did not. At the time, I think I wore a 58 suit jacket. A 58.
It's like Shaquille O'Neal size.
Well, I don't. Well, to be fair, we are great basketball players, but I think he might be a little bigger. A 58 jacket size, like literally, it would engulf me today. But
for context, I wore a 42 regular.
My body has gone through some terrible changes. At that time, I wore a 58. When we were at Shepherd, I wore a 40. I have the fluctuation. But anyway, back to the story. I had this terribly, terribly fitting, ugly suit. Didn't know how ugly it was. End of the story is I ripped my pants at my very first debate tournament. And the entire day, I walked around in a tan pinstripe suit with a with a light blue shirt and a black tie. I looked not only did I look unhealthy, I looked fucking terrible.
With ripped pants, and you went and debated like that. That's probably why you won, because people were laughing.
Probably. It's the first and only time I've ever killed. I mean, it's insane.
When you first started the story and you were talking about the colors black and blue, I thought what you were going to tell me was that you were like, well, I'll combine it and I'll get both. I'll get black pants with a blue blazer.
I did that one time, and I think my wife almost left me. I did not justified. I did not know that was a thing. I thought that you could do
your
that.
Wife leaving you. Yeah, it's absolutely a thing.
Yeah. Wait, that's oh shit.
Yeah, right. You better shut the fuck up on that.
But I'm pretty sure she still has to be my attorney.
Well, that's some weird conflicts. But speaking of bold sartorial suit decisions, John, we're here. We are at the end of 2020, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord, and let me just insert a stereotypical line from graduating high school. Welp, we made it. All right, now they got that out of the way. Yes, we are here. The Start over. The 2020 Appodlachia Appalachian Awards, first annual. We're going to be so bold as to say annual. But before we get started, John, I think we do have some shout outs to do.
Yeah, this week's newest Patreon members. We're so glad that you're here. We've got 3 this week there, Chuck. It's Mason, Zach, and Ashley. All have joined in the past week. We're so thankful that they're here, and now they get to enjoy all the awesome exclusives that we have over on our Patreon.
They're pretty dope. I gotta admit, they are pretty dope. This week we are going to do an exclusive, and it's going to be basically previewing the year to come. We've already got a few things lined up for next year. We're going to be talking through some of the ideas we have, some of our hopes and expectations, and also from our Patreon members looking for feedback. What do they want to see? What do they want to hear? Who do they want to hear from?
And don't forget last week's groundbreaking Patreon exclusive, where we got to hear from the boss herself, my wife, my attorney, Taylor. Great content. She hated every moment of it, which means I loved it.
Well, let's jump right in, Big John. This is, I would argue, the most anticipated award show of the year. So
of all time, probably.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, yeah. I'd say definitely top 3. And, we don't want to keep our listeners waiting, or our viewers, if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not, youtube.com/c/Appodlachia, please do it. Without further ado, John, you're going to start with the first category, hotly contested category.
This category, one of the most popular categories when it came to voting. People did not skip over this. They wanted to vote, and a very, very close race. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, let's get to it. For Appalachian Book of the Year, the nominees are Bullets for Silverware by Jim Antonini, In the Country Dark by Mike Mallow, A Fishy Tale by Diana Pishner Walker, and The Lightness of Water by Rhonda White. Chuck. And the winner. My envelope says winner. The winner of Appalachian...
It's just a complete glare.
It says winner. The winner for Appalachian Book of the Year, it goes to In the Country Dark by Mike Mallow.
Whoa!
There's your winner. A little bit about the book, because I think we need to let people know about it, since it won probably the biggest award that it's ever won. The book, In the Country Dark by Mike Mallow, is a story of a murder for hire gone wrong in the small town of Chansey, West Virginia. Cabell Walsh, a disenchanted journalist, becomes wrapped up in the plot's fallout thanks to his childhood friend Troy Mason. Mason, a recently fired CNA, is fed up with life and just wants to watch the world burn. As their opinions become limited, Cabell and Troy confront the demons of their past and resort to drastic measures to overcome the darkness of the present.
Damn. I got to copy
winner.
The book.
Got to get that book. I saw that it's...
So one thing I'll say, though, too, is we will put... I don't know how we'll do this. Maybe we'll link in the show notes, or maybe what we'll do is we'll have a thing on our website where you can access all the people, even all the finalists, including the winners, and find out where you can find their books, and for the rest of the categories where you can find out more about those people or what they do. So just know that if you want In the Country Dark, you want to look at some of the other books, you'll be able to find them. We'll have something in the show notes for you.
And I saw it. There's a hellacious sale on it right now on Amazon.com. I'm going to guarantee you that sale's going to go away because of the massiveness of this award. Because he's not going to need a sale. He's not going to need a sale. They're just going to fly off the shelves. So you better get one right now.
Off the shelves like flying books. Absolutely. Well, congratulations to Mike on that. Again, like you mentioned, hotly contested category. We had so many people voting on this legitimately. And it was wild. It came down to the wire there, but congrats to Mike and to everybody else that had a book in the finals. That's a big deal. Moving on, this one was an exciting one. Appalachian Visual Creator of the Year, John. This is basically just like it sounds, a visual creator, someone who is visually creating for Appalachia. A lot of these people are entrepreneurs or solo entrepreneurs in their own right. And the nominees are Julie Ray Powers, Liz Pavlovich, Adams Film, and Jamie Lester. John, the winner right here is gonna open it now. If you're watching on YouTube, missing some quality content. If you're not, Liz Pavlovich.
Nice.
Congrats to Liz. Liz is a freelance graphic designer and illustrator living in West Virginia. She draws inspiration from the places and experiences having lived in Alabama, Arizona, California, Iowa, and West Virginia. And we should caveat this by saying that we are not biased. We only took the votes that we had, and we didn't weight things in favor of any particular person. But we will say, for sake of transparency, that Liz did our logo for the show, and it looks fucking awesome. And she does a lot of other cool shit, especially with cryptids like Mothman and the Flatwoods Monster. Her stuff is really cool.
She is the Mothman artist, in my opinion. I don't know anybody that else that does it as well.
And except for the person that designed the Mothman butt on the statue. So I don't know.
Well, that's true. I don't know who did that, but
who knows?
Congratulations to them. But anyway, congratulations to Liz for winning this prestigious award.
Anyway,
On to our third category, Chuck. This was also this was one of the only categories with 5 nominees, and I kid you not, it came down. I had to count this 3 times to figure out the winner.
It went to a hand recount.
Hand recount. It was tough.
There were some hanging chads there, but we got them out of the way. That's
true. Could you imagine? That'd be awesome.
I literally couldn't with an online form.
All right. Anyway, to our third category, Appalachian Organization / Nonprofit of the Year. The nominees are Appalachian Prison Book Project, Black in Appalachia, Pantry Plus and More, Shine On West Virginia, and West Virginia Hub. Chuck, the winner.
All great organizations, first of all. You should just say that.
Yeah.
Amazing organizations doing fantastic work.
Every one of these nominees on every category, they deserve to be there. We're happy they're there. Everyone deserves to win. We just took the votes, and we get to tell you who got the most votes. But in our hearts, they're all winners.
Absolutely. We're just the bean counters here.
Right. That being said, I have the winner. It's right here.
Oh my God.
Appalachian Organization / Nonprofit of the Year goes to the Appalachian Prison Book Project.
Whoa.
That's a big one.
That's a huge one.
Congratulations to them. A little bit about the organization. By mailing books, creating prison book clubs, and providing tuition support for incarcerated people taking college classes, the organization celebrates creative expression and defends the liberties that make it possible, champions the freedom to read and write, recognizes the power of literature to transform individuals and society. It supports educational, vocational, and personal development for those who are locked up. This is an organization that has definitely made its rounds in terms of notoriety, and they have just won one of the biggest awards, Chuck, of 2020.
I mean, are there any bigger?
I have no idea. My mom says no.
Well, fair enough.
We just got a new patron. That's pretty cool during the show.
I started dancing. We'll go and we'll fix. I think that's a second Zach. So it is a second Zach. That's hilarious. Yeah. So this was a really cool organization that before starting the show, I wasn't aware of. There were some other prison book projects that I had been aware of, but this one's really cool, and it's so important, the kind of work that they do, especially like with providing tuition support for incarcerated people. I mean, anyway, I especially providing tuition support for incarcerated people taking college classes to help them reenter society after they're released from prison. This is such a cool organization, and so hats off to them. Very well deserved.
Definitely.
Moving on, though, John, this is a really cool category, I think. It's the Appalachian Rising Star Award. What we couched this as was young Appalachians making a difference in Appalachia and throughout the world. So this is a really cool one. The nominees are Callie Pruitt, Rourke Sizemore, Bailey Epperly, and Michael Mallow. And the winner, John.
Oh, boy.
I have it here in this copy of Machiavelli's The Prince. we get very creative here with the folders, with the envelopes. The winner is Callie Pruitt.
Nice.
It's me clapping. Congratulations, Callie. Callie is a senior strategist for grassroots advocacy, and in her words, she teaches scientists how to talk to Congress, which is extremely important, as we all know, and something that members of Congress don't really talk to scientists that much. They need to be talking more to them. And I think this year, more so than any, proof of that. So God bless you, Callie, for the work that you do. Callie originally caught our attention because of her Instagram posts outlining ongoing issues in Appalachia. Not only are they just like outlining issues, but they're very visually, aesthetically appealing. And she does a really good job of just breaking down the issues and why they're important in very simple terms so that people like your average layperson can digest it. It's really cool, the work that she does. She's a native Appalachian who I think it's fair to say carries Appalachia on her sleeve in whatever she does. And so hats off to Callie. Congratulations to her. Well earned. And we hope that she continues doing the important work that she's doing.
And we hope all of them do, because
absolutely.
Just because only one winner of the Rising Star Award could happen this year doesn't mean that these people need to stop rising to the occasion. In fact, we expect them to try even harder to maybe win in 2021.
Yeah. Well, and every person that was nominated for this is doing incredible work.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
look, we're just two guys sitting in front of microphones.
Way more than we're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So congratulations to Callie, and congratulations to Rourke, Bailey, and Michael for making that list as well. And continue doing the good work that you're doing, because I think that the work that they did in 2020 made 2020 a little bit more bearable for people.
All right, on to our next category. This was probably the most tweeted about category in terms of people campaigning to win this award, Chuck. The people wanted this award. And what am I talking about? It is Appalachian Band of the Year.
This is huge.
Yeah, this is a big deal. Appalachian Band of the Year. The nominees are Hello June, J Parade, the Davison Brothers, Phantom 6, and Ona. Chuck, I have the winner right here in my envelope.
Oh my God. I'm bated breath right here. My breath has been baited.
I'm honestly nervous for this. It could be any one of them, but there can only be one. And the winner is the Davison Brothers. Congratulations to them. They are this little band that really needed this award to really put themselves on the map. The Davison Brothers, Brothers is an American country group from the hills of West Virginia, Clarksburg, West Virginia. Little known fact, Chuck, where Big John was born. Composed of brothers.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was born in Clarksburg, West Virginia.
You're not an OG Parkersburgian? I
am not. No.
Well, fuck you, then.
I lived in Dodders County for 5 years.
Outsider.
I lived in Dodders County for 5 years. Anyway, back to the Davison Brothers, because they're what's important here. The Davison Brothers is an American country group from Clarksburg, West Virginia, composed of brothers Chris Davison and Donnie Davison, Russell Reppert, and longtime friend Aaron Register. I think that's how you say it. Their song Po' Boys is available now, and big known fact, nominee for Song of the Year for the Appodlachia Appalachian Awards. So they're still up.
Congratulations to the Davison Brothers. Are they on our Spotify playlist?
They are. Po' Boys is on that Spotify playlist. You could find that by checking out. The links are all over Twitter.
Yeah. Well, actually, I added it on our website.
Okay, and it has gotten thousands of listens, and I made the joke that the Davison Brothers are a little band that needed this award. That, in fact, is not true. They've had like a top 40 album just about, I think, a decade ago, so they're doing just fine. And now they'll have a top 40 album after this award comes out.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
And so all these bands, you can find all of them on our Spotify playlist.
Every one of them.
Which we'll link to in the show notes. But you can also find it on appodlachia.com/community. And they're all great. I've listened to all of them. And
they're awesome.
You know, one really cool thing about doing the show this year is that we've mentioned, we discovered so many cool organizations, so many cool people, but so many cool bands. And
yeah.
And so we love it. And we're excited for Davison Brothers. Congrats to them. Congrats to everybody else. That's really cool. And in a similar vein, we also had a category, quick ad category. It kind of came at the last minute, Appalachian Rapper of the Year. And let me just say, John, I posted about the award show on Reddit, which maybe was a mistake, maybe it's not. We got a lot of listeners from Reddit, but also some shit talkers. And there was some shit talking actually on this category.
Oh, let's hear it.
It was Appalachian rap ? Is that rap about moonshine stills and coal mines? And one person replied and said, no, it's people slapping Appalachian on something in order to capitalize on a culture they don't even identify with.
I mean,
to which I say, fuck that and fuck that person, because these people are fantastic rappers and artists who I think, I don't know if it's all of them, but most of them write their own stuff and most of them have content that's about Appalachia.
Yeah, and I will say I'm very vocal when I think that people are doing that, because there are people who do that. There's no doubt about it. But the nominees here don't do that. They have been very open about some of their songs. Now, I will say we didn't go through their music and say this is quote unquote Appalachian music, because to us that's not a thing. Anything can be Appalachian.
Matter, yeah.
These are Appalachians making music, and these are Appalachian rappers making damn good music. So anyway, let's get to the category.
Making damn good music. Okay, so the nominees were Huey Mack, Logan Dodd, Shalem, and David Morris. David Morris, who's been on this show before. The winner, John.
Tell me.
The winner of Appalachian Rapper of the Year, drum roll, Shalem.
What I'm going to categorize this. People might get mad. This to me was an upset. Just saying.
It was a huge upset. It was a huge
upset. Going into this, I had my reservations, but his fans showed up.
They did. And he's going up against some heavyweights, David Morris, Huey Mack, but and so just a little bit about Shalem. Shalem is an up and coming rapper out of Charleston, West Virginia. Fun fact, he's also a civil engineer by day and a songmaker by night. His newest EP, Yup, the mixtape, is on all streaming platforms now. If I butchered that, I apologize. But yeah, so again, a big upset, but an awesome win. And that's what we're here for. We're here for the Cinderella story of these Appalachian Awards. And this is just one of them. It's kind of like, we got robbed of the NCAA tournament this year. So it's the next best thing.
But
fucking Spartans were seeded too, man. I'm pissed.
He's not only better at rapping than we are, Chuck. He is probably smarter than we are based off of him being a civil engineer. I would
correct you and say not probably, definitely.
Well, that's true.
Definitely.
Look, my 2021, my New Year's resolution is to pretend I'm a little smarter than I am. So that's the only reason I'm trying to practice.
So your New Year's resolution is to act.
Well, to be fair, that's kind of shitty of you to point out. This is my resolution.
Pretend, so.
On to our next category.
That was a joke. I just flew right over your head, so I don't think you're doing well with pretending to act.
Appalachian Singer/Songwriter of the Year. This was a down-to-the-wire, no joke, 18 votes separated first and second.
Wow.
18 votes. Appalachian Singer/Songwriter of the Year. The nominees are Tyler Childers, Mark Poole, Dolly Parton, and Josh Connolly. Chuck, I have the winner right here. No one knows who it is, but we're about to find out. And the winner for Appalachian Singer/Songwriter is...
Wait for it. I'm so pumped.
The Queen, Dolly Parton.
Wow. Dolly Parton. The legend herself. You know what? I think this is a proper time to play. And if you're on YouTube, you'd see this. It says, my bumper sticker, which says, Dolly for president.
Well, Dolly is now an Appodlachia Appalachian Award winner. A little bit about Dolly. She really doesn't need a intro at all. Dolly is, in fact, the queen of Appalachia, and honestly, this isn't a surprise that she won. Dolly's very popular. We love Dolly. We constantly talk about Dolly on this show. But here's something. Dolly's new single, I Still Believe, was just released December 7th, 2020, and it offers an uplifting moment for this year, which obviously we've talked about this year sucked. But one of the lyrics that I wanted to let everyone know, this is why this song is so important. Quote, I believe to my very core, we'll walk again in the sunshine by the seashore, that will dance and will sing and be happy again. The last part of the recording is, don't know how or when, but we will again. You'll see, I still believe. Dolly Parton, not only funding vaccines, but also making beautiful music to help us get through 2020. And that is why she is the Singer/Songwriter of the Year.
You love to see it. Congrats to Dolly. Hopefully she'll accept the award on the show someday. We'll see.
Probably.
I mean, it's good for her run to the presidency anyway. So moving on, though, another, I think, hotly contested category of award, Appalachian Business of the Year. This was really a cool one to do. The finalists were all fantastic businesses that I think we all love. 123 Pleasant Street, Full Circle Gifts and Goods, Appalachian Moon, Rolling Pepperoni, and Kinship Goods. John, the winner. Again, got it right here in this envelope. The winner of Appalachian Business of the Year is Kinship Goods. Man,
congratulations.
Huge. This is a great company. First of all, they make fantastic stuff. Kinship Goods, a quality of life brand dedicated to bringing comfort to all creatures, as they put it. Out of Charleston, West Virginia, Kinship has become an apparel giant of Appalachia. Their in-house design and hand-printed cozy wear is something everyone should experience, in their words. Not to mention, future friend of the show, Jennifer Garner, has endorsed Kinship. And that's, that may have put them over the edge, to be honest, in this. So huge for them, and huge for them even more that they got the endorsement of the listeners of Appodlachia with this award. So congrats to Kinship Goods. These other businesses are fantastic as well. We want you to patronize every single one of them. And congrats to Kinship.
Yeah, big win there for Kinship.
Huge win.
Speaking of big, this category, I know I've said it a lot, but this one is a massive category because I think this one could put anybody on the map, to be honest. And that is Appalachian Song of the Year. The nominees are Long Violent History by Tyler Childers, Heart and Minds by J Parade, You Can't Get to Heaven in a Rented Van by William Matheny, and Po' Boys by the Davison Brothers. Chuck, could the Davison Brothers have a two-peat? Could they have 2 awards? Let's find out. And the winner for Appalachian Song of the Year goes to Long Violent History by Tyler Childers.
Huge. Well deserved. What a fucking song.
What a song. This one is a big song. One review of this song notes that as Childers' bow makes convection-heavy draws, Long Violent History connects the bloody struggles of rural, mostly white mining communities to contemporary fights for racial justice. Big thing here, Chuck, is 100% of net proceeds from Long Violent History will go to support underserved communities in the Appalachian region through the Hickman Holler Appalachian Relief Fund.
That's huge. That's 100% of the proceeds from the whole album. I think.
Correct.
Like the merchandise.
Yeah, the album is called that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. So that's not only is it a good song, but I mean, he's literally putting his money where his mouth is. And for someone like him, he could be making a lot of money off that album. I mean, you just look at his like monthly listens on Spotify, he's in the millions. He could be making a ton of money off that. But instead he's essentially like rerouting it to Appalachian. And he didn't make like a big deal about it either. He didn't like do a bunch of fanfare. He just did it. And that's awesome. That's really, really cool. Well deserved, man.
Well deserved.
Congrats to Tyler. Welcome.
By the way, all those songs are really good. I mean, every single one of them.
I think they might all be on our playlist.
They are.
There you go. All right. Moving on. This one was actually another really cool category, Appalachian Online Creator of the Year. This is a really this category is very broad because it featured individuals, it featured organizations. They could be creating art, they could be creating comedy, they could be creating video, audio, like news, what have you. So it was very diverse, very cool. The nominees are a repeat nominee here, Callie Pruitt, Brian Pickens, Drew Morgan, and Mountain State Spotlight, the watchdog journalism outlet out of West Virginia. John, the winner of Appalachian Online Creator of the Year. I have it here in this copy of What You're Getting Wrong About Appalachia by Elizabeth Catt. Very appropriate to read it from this. The winner is Mountain State Spotlight.
Big win.
It's a big win. It's a great organization. Mountain State Spotlight is an independent civic news organization that tells stories of importance to West Virginians about the issues and challenges facing their communities. They produce journalism that exposes abuse of power by government, business, and other institutions and keeps after the story until positive changes are made. So in their words, we will explain complex issues and illustrate how public policy decisions affect real West Virginians, and we will lift up the voices of those who might not otherwise be heard. this is a fantastic watchdog journalism outlet. I believe it's nonprofit, started by some really strong veterans of the West Virginia journalism community, led by Ken Ward Jr., I think formerly of the Charleston Gazette. Also Amelia, I think her name's pronounced Nisley. If I mispronounced that, I apologize, Amelia, who's another fantastic journalist who covers poverty, especially in West Virginia, among other things. And Eric Iyer, who is a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist who basically opened the floodgates of the opioid crisis story with a huge piece talking about it, though I think we've talked about on the show before. Anyway, great, fantastic organization, well deserved. The other online creators also amazing. Check them out. Obviously, I mentioned Callie Pruitt, Drew Morgan, one of the funniest comedians out there, hailing from the hollers of East Tennessee. Love that. Love what he's doing. And Brian Pickens as well. So check all of them out. Also well-deserved. And congratulations to the team at Mountain State Spotlight, who is doing incredibly important work in West Virginia.
Definitely. Next category. This is one of the only ones that had 3 nominees, and this was a close one.
Oh my God.
I couldn't believe how close this one was in terms of how many times I had to recount it, because it took me for a loop a couple times. But we did have a winner. Ooh. Appalachian Film of the Year. The nominees are Feast of the Seven Fishes, Born in a Ballroom, and Pusher. 3 great films. I have the winner right here in the Getting Started Kaplan Bar Prep.
Wow, what an honor.
And the winner, welcome to Bar Review, the winner of the Appalachian Film of the Year goes to Feast of the Seven Fishes.
Huge.
This was actually filmed in Fairmont, West Virginia. A little bit of the premise: just days before Christmas, the Oliverio family readies their Feast of the Seven Fishes, an Italian tradition stretching back to the old country. Amidst the preparations, Tony, a young man with big dreams and a bigger heart, wonders if he'll find love this Christmas season or spend it alone with his loud and loving family. Nice. These names. Great-grandma Nani, Grandpa Johnny, great-uncles Frankie and Carmine, his parents, his brother, and a host of friends. When Sarah, the girlfriend of his best friend Angelo, introduces Tony to Beth, it looks like Tony's holidays experiences might take a turn for the better. That is, unless Nani thinks Beth isn't good enough for her great-grandson, and Beth's Ivy League suitor doesn't steal her heart first. Come on inside where it's warm and the smells of cooking fish permeate the air, and let's have a visit. That review was written by Robert Tennell.
Nice. I'm excited to watch that. I haven't watched it yet. Great.
Big Christmas movie.
Huge. Yeah, I know that this is such a tight category. I mean, wow. Other 2 movies in there also fantastic. Pusher by filmmaker Andy Morrow. We had her on the show. We had her on the show back, I think, in April. A fantastic filmmaker and actress, and telling a really important story about Appalachia, and Born in a Ballroom, another really good one that I was able to watch a little bit earlier this year. Fantastic stuff. All great movies. Congrats to Feast of the Seven Fishes. Well earned and well done.
Yeah. And these next 2 categories, Chuck, I'm going to caveat this by saying our discussion of the winners will be a little bit longer than the past 8. Simply because our discussion of these 2 winners, will be a little bit longer because these were the most contested, and some would argue 2 of the most important awards that are going to be given out on this episode. I would argue that all of them are important, but some would argue that these 2 highly important.
Yep, they're pretty big. They're very big, in fact. Huge. All right, so the one that I'm going to announce, Appalachian Activist of the Year. This category, man, another super competitive category. You had some real heavy hitters in here. You had Danielle Walker, you had Ryan Eller, you had Alana Norwood, and you had Stephen Smith. You know, you don't get many more heavy hitters than that, and this was a big one. So, without further ado, John, the Appalachian Activist of the Year is Danielle Walker.
Danielle Walker. Congrats.
Huge. First, one of the things I admire most about Delegate Walker is her commitment to community, and she constantly acknowledges how important that is to her. I wanted to read for our listeners. This is a piece from West Virginia Living magazine from 2018 that I think really helps sum up who Delegate Walker is. This is prior to her election, I believe, that this was written. Danielle Walker already had her hands full as a single working mother, taking care of a son with autism, another son with rheumatoid arthritis and other medical problems, and her mother, who has heart problems and was diagnosed with breast cancer. Then, in August 2017, violence at a white nationalist rally in Virginia left one counter-protester dead and dozens more injured. That was in Charlottesville. It's a reference to Charlottesville, by the way. Walker went to West Virginia University's campus that night for a vigil and ended up speaking. Quote, "I realized I needed to be the change. From that day forward, I have not shut my mouth," end quote. Local Democratic Party officials asked Walker to run for the House of Delegates. Since then, she has spent nearly every day attending family reunions, church gatherings, rallies, and marches. Quote, "Anywhere I can shake someone's hand and ask, if you had one wish, what would you do for our state government?" End quote. Walker's wish is to find a way to pull our people up. "I will represent the people, all the ones that voted for me and those that didn't." I have to admire that attitude 100%. This is from Danielle's bio, Delegate Walker's bio, excuse me. Danielle's first and successful campaign for House of Delegates was in 2018 and was marked by an incredible energy for making connections with her neighbors. If there was an event, she was there. If there was a cause, she was probably contributing. And if there was a need, she was probably trying to meet it. Her service as a delegate is marked by that same commitment to bring people together, same gift for inspiring others, and same passion for solving problems and serving the vulnerable. And amongst the many things that she's been a leader on since joining the West Virginia House of Delegates, racial justice has been an issue that has certainly gotten a lot of attention and that she's been a real leader on. At a speech in Morgantown, West Virginia, she stated, quote, "I'm a black woman. I'm a mother of 2 black kids. My mother and father are also black. Why should I have to deny my heritage and my legacy? Why do I not stand up?" I think I speak for many people, most people probably listening to this show and people throughout Appalachia when I say that we need voices like Delegate Walker's, both in state government in West Virginia and state government throughout all of Appalachia and just throughout all of Appalachia in general.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big things that Danielle's taken up here recently is the Black Lives Matter movement. She has been very vocal on her stance and, in my opinion, the right stance. And has pushed forward in hopes of making West Virginia a better, more inclusive place. Danielle is really the type of delegate that West Virginia needs more of. I'm glad to see that she remains in the House of Delegates and remains to be a major activist there, making sure that her son, herself, and people exactly like them, single mothers with kids trying to make it through life, are taken care of when it comes to representation in the House of Delegates.
Yeah, it's a big deal and a big mantle to hold. And so we're proud of Danielle for the work that she has done. Delegate Walker, I should say, and for all the other activists that were in this category too. I mean, these people have done so much. All of them, all 4 of them, and everybody that was even mentioned in the voting have done so much to move Appalachia forward. And we're really looking forward to what they all have in store for in 2021, especially Delegate Walker.
Definitely. Chuck, the final award of the night or the morning, whenever people are listening to this, Appalachian.
Well, I was going to make a joke about it might be morning by the time we finish recording this.
That's very true. Appalachian of the Year. This award goes to the person who best represented Appalachia in the year 2020.
This is a humongous. That's a big. I say big mantle. That's a big mantle to hold. That's a 13-state region.
Yeah, this is a big one. But there were 4 nominees here, Chuck. Alona Norwood, Tyler Childers, Ken Ward Jr., and Justin McElroy. These are some heavy hitters, Chuck, and it came down to really some names that we thought it would. But without spoiling it, I have the results right here.
It's huge. This is huge.
This is huge. This is your life right here. This could make or break it.
Wow. Okay.
No idea if that's
fucking high. Jeez.
I'm trying to make this as dramatic as possible. The Appalachian of the year goes to Tyler Childers.
Oh shit, that's a big one.
That's a big one.
Well-deserved.
Childers grew up in Lawrence County, Kentucky, with a father in the coal industry and a mother who worked as a nurse. As a boy, he sang for his Free Will Baptist Church congregation and learned a few chords on a guitar given to him by his grandfather. That's probably the best gift he's ever received, by the way. He absorbed the classic rock his father liked, along with the country artists of the 80s, such as Alabama, Ricky Skaggs, and Hank Williams Jr. He started writing songs at 13 and occasionally played them for friends at parties. At 15, when his grandfather died, Childers turned to a bluegrass as a way to remember him. Childers' music is influenced by his home state of Kentucky and its connection to country music and bluegrass. He often writes about coal mining, which was his father's occupation, and its effects. Rebecca Bingle, writing for The Guardian, describes Childers' songs as a counter-narrative to the outsiders who seek to perpetuate stereotypes of backwardness and poverty. Chuck, I don't know about you. We should have stole that in terms of what our mission statement was.
I don't know.
That's a damn good one. Childers emphasizes lyrical content in songs, comparing the songwriting process to telling short stories. In January 2020, Childers maintained his position on Americana during an interview with World Cafe. Quote, "Everybody always talks about the state of country music and puts down commercial country and says something's got to be done. And we need to be elevating artists that are doing more traditional country. But then we're not calling those artists country artists. They're getting put into this Americana thing. It is what it is, and I don't really know how to define what Americana is. We're our own thing. It's a new time, and I don't know what it's called, but I've been calling it country, you know? I think a lot of times it's kind of become just a costume." Well, this costume is being ripped off, Chuck, because Tyler Childers has just won the Appalachian of the Year award here in 2020.
I'm not trying to be too, I think, haughty here, but probably the biggest award he's ever won.
I have no idea what would be bigger.
I'm going to edit out the word probably that I just said. The biggest award he's ever won. Tyler Childers, I mean, we mentioned this in the previous category they won, but a person who is bringing a mainstream voice about Appalachia to a lot of different people. I know he resonates a lot with people from Appalachia, but he also does with people outside of the region. I think that's equally as important. And the music that he's producing is incredible, and I think it's a well-deserved award. Well-deserved, very much so. Definitely. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, and congratulations to every nominee and every winner for the Appodlachia Appalachian Awards. This is the first annual. Chuck, I will go out on a limb and say there will be a second annual Appodlachia Appalachian Awards, but maybe with a better name.
We'll call them the Appies. I don't know.
That's pretty good.
Or the Latchins.
I'm going to go Appies. I like that.
Sounds like we're going to Applebee's and half
sounds
price
like I'm ordering a Happy Nappy from Napoli.
Can I have a Happy Nappy? Happy Nappy, please.
It's like
that's 7-year-old John.
Happy Nappy. But two.
Napoli's, for people that don't know, is a above subpar pizza place in Parkersburg that when you take the cheese off, looks like a brain.
That's true.
Nailed it. Man, our first award show, I think we nailed it. I think fantastic people all around. And I think it's a fantastic way to end this year. End it on a positive note, a high note.
Agreed. High note.
Beautiful.
Highest note we've ever hit.
Are you doing a beef?
I didn't think I would.
Okay. That's right. You said you weren't going to do one. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's I think this is our last episode, right, for 2020.
Yeah, and like I said last time, that was the last episode was the last Beef with Big John of 2020, so you're not getting one this episode. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and
it's about the nominees and the winners. I got no beefs right now.
He's got no beefs. I think that's wow. It's a first, a hell of a way to end the year, a hell of a way to end the first full year of this podcast. 2020, you can bid it adieu with a couple middle fingers in the air. but we're doing it on a positive note here, honoring some of the best people in this great region we call Appalachia. And we hope that you stick with us into 2021 to see what it has in store. Thank you all so much for listening, whether you're joining us for this episode or whether you've been with us since episode 1. And if you have, God bless you, because that was rough. So, so thanks for that. Appreciate that.
You're trying to ruin a good movie.
We were. And appreciate that. Check us out online, appodlachia.com. Follow us on all the social medias. If you're not on YouTube, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/c/appodlachia. It'll be linked in the show notes. If you want to see full videos of each episode, we do them every week, full video. You want to look at our beautiful, glistening faces that are in suits right now, you can. And lastly, join our Patreon for exclusive bonus every single week for as little as $1 a month. We'll be back next year, 2021.